Greeting African descent. Greeting to you that is just joining us, joining this show, the Global Coafrwology. Just tell us from which country or which town are you talking or are you contacting us, please. Thank you. We will be starting in 1 minute. The time to allow the rest of our followers to be online or to connect themselves into the show. Welcome to Global Coafrwo. Today episode title is The Autopsy of Imperialism. Yes, the autopsy of imperialism the clinical autopsy of imperialism, indeed, as a global pathology. Greeting. This is our English version of our broadcast, our show, the Global COAFRWO. Today we talking about imperialism, the autopsy of imperialism as a global pathology. Greeting. This is our English version of our program, our show, the Global COAFRWO. Today's title is The Autopsy of Imperialism. Yeah, welcome to this episode. Just a few minutes and we will start the show. Greeting, please. Just let us know from where are you contacting, which town are you connected to follow us. Greeting. Welcome to Global COAFRWO, our English version. Today we're talking about the autopsy of imperialism, the vital diagnostic of Coafrwology. Greeting. Greeting. We are today, our global audience. I'm greeting you. A greeting to African and African descendant. Greeting to a friend of African and African descendant. You are watching Global COAFRWO, the program dedicated to the restoration, order, and dignity of the African in the world. I'm your host, and today we are broadcasting a special edition, the clinical autopsy of imperialism. My name is Alphonse Mpeke-Tonga Metilame Yodi. We are precisely at the start of 2026 and the geographical landscape is shifting. However, the change that remains not just on our resources, they are in our mind. Today, we apply the scientific microcosm of Professor Alphonse Mpeke-Tonga Metilame Yodi, the founder of Coafrwology and the director of the Institute for Contemporary African War Studies. The first segment of this show is the metaphysics, the metaphysical viruses. Professor Mpeke's diagnosis is clear. Imperialism is a metaphysical affection. It is a rupture between the Afro and the CO, the CO. But let's look at the anatomy of this virus. It operates through what Coafrwology calls mnemoscience. Look at your screen. This isn't just history, it's neurology. Domination persists through a memory prison. It is a colonial coding that induces amnesia of our greatness while forcing us to remember hypermnesia. Every debt we supposedly own to the West. Our segment 2, the revolutions that serve the master. Now we must address a painful truth. Professor Mbeke has identified a dangerous mutation, the projective neocolonial revolutions, the PNR. These are revolts that looks like anti-colonial but are actually infused with the oppressor's prism. We see this in two ways. Local terrorism, when men lost their moral access, their mahat, they project trauma through nihilism, violence. They become the monstrous children of the colonial system. Then, secondly, the digital confusion. This is the Pan-Africanism of facade on social media. We see people spending hours in live becoming compulsive reciters of Western geostrategy or geopolitics. By analyzing the master's moves all day, you validate his centrality. You create pathological inertia. You aren't building, you are just spectator of your own imprisonment. The third segment is the AES, the Alliance of the State of Sahel, and the visibility of the ECHED or SIADA. But there is hope. We are in a phase of active convalescence. Look at the Alliance of Sahel State, AES. The break from the CFA and the foreign military bases is an act of public hygiene. The empire anger is nothing more than withdrawal anxiety because it is losing its nutriment host. Well, the central to this recovery is the visibility of the SIADA, the existential condition of the SIADA or ECHED, the existential condition of African and African descendants. For too long, the imperial, let's say, pathogens has fragmented us into Afro-Brazilian, Afro-American, or continental to prevent a global diagnosis. Coafrwology unify us. Coafrwology unify this. It ends the mental confinement. The doctor's order. Let's say as we conclude this a session of Global Coafro, remember the words of Professor Mbeke, the world will be healthy when Africa ceases to be the West pharmacy and become its own doctor. Renaissance is not luxury. It is a clinical necessity. It requires epistemological disobedience and the restoration of the Mahat. To our viewers in Dublin, Brussels, Ouagadougou, and beyond, stop reciting the master's history and start writing the African order. Alphonse Mbeke, the founder of Coafrwology. This has been Global Coafrwo. Join the movement at Global Coafrwo and read the treaty of Coafrwology by Professor Mbeke. Stay sovereign, stay tuned. Find most of our work within the platform known as academia.edu, but also Lincoln and any other academic platform. Let's say this was the first part of our program. So let's go a bit deeper into this exploration. Indeed, we're talking about the clinical autopsy of imperialism. Imperialism seen here as a global pathology. So we says, first of all, let me greet again my fellow African and African descendant, as well as friend of African and African descendant. Yes, you are watching Global Coafrwo, the program dedicated to the restoration, order, and dignity of African and African descendant. The clinical autopsy of imperialism. This is what we're talking about today. We are precisely at the beginning of the year 2026, and the geopolitical landscape is shifting, and it's shifting drastically.